The World Economic Forum celebrated an anniversary at the India Economic Summit. 25 years of collaboration and active engagement in India, the world's largest democracy. The forum's founder and executive chairman reflected on the country's rapid growth and development.
It's amazing, the change which has been made in one generation. And I would say 25 years ago, India had such a bad brand in the world. It was very difficult to convince people to come here. Today, it's one of the most attractive economic brands in the world.
Addressing more than 600 political and corporate leaders, India's Prime Minister made sure to validate that message.
I am happy to say that India has been able to face the global economic downturn better than most other countries in the world. The Indian economy grew at a respectable rate of 6.7% in the year 2008-09.
And the country is poised to return to a growth rate of 9%. However, Singh did admit that more had to be done to reduce hunger, poverty and disease. More than 40% of Indians are living in extreme poverty.
Our strategy today is not just to deliver rapid growth, but to deliver rapid and inclusive growth, a growth that will provide productive employment to our young population and raise living standards in rural areas across the length and breadth of our vast country.
And this is how India wants to do it, building roads. 7,000 kilometers by the end of next year, 20 kilometers a day. Spearheading the project, India's former Minister for Commerce and Industry, Kamal Nath, who has moved to the new portfolio of road transport and highways. At one of the key panels at the forum, he said that the cost will be around $20 billion, out of which 60% is scheduled to come from the private sector.
The strongest ingredient of all inclusive growth is roads and highways, because roads traverse all parts of the country, go through the most backward areas. Roads impact, as you all know, trade, industry, agriculture.
Infrastructure improvements are also critical for corporate executives like Carlos Ghosn. The Renault boss said his company wants to triple car production to 6 million a year in a sustainable way.
We all know that infrastructure is going to have to move up substantially. There are a lot of plans which are being built and hopefully deployed and executed for infrastructure in India to become a supporter of the industry and not a handicap on the industry.
Like many other countries, India raised government spending to avoid a dangerous slowdown, focusing mainly on infrastructure but also countering unemployment. After months of jitters, the country's flagship industry, information technology, is hiring again. The Bombay Stock Exchange is up sharply from the lows in March, auto sales are booming, and industrial production recently hit a 2-year high. An unexpected turnaround for India's largest manufacturer and exporter of auto components.
The interesting part is that even in this period, the automobile exports from India increased actually. They didn't go down. I'm talking about cars. So clearly I think it's a demonstration of the fact that India is now beginning to make products what the world wants, in the price segment the world needs. So I think there is a lot more optimism in that area.
But traditional Indian exports, including textiles, jewelry and handicrafts, often small and medium-sized businesses employing hundreds of millions of people, have missed out on government aid, despite being hit by the 1-2 punch of a global recession and a declining dollar.
I think we've got to ultimately start thinking of rebalancing growth, which basically means think of the domestic market and then think of the Asian market rather than just the Western market, which has been the case so far.
While the overall sentiment at the forum was bullish, this confidence could falter if the government does not deliver on long-standing problems, including infrastructure, education, healthcare and economic reforms, helping to lift hundreds of millions out of poverty.
India's growth dynamics is plausible but not preordained. There's a lot of work on the policy side and implementation side which have to come together.
Prime Minister Singh vowed to push the reform process forward. And the case for stronger growth in India is compelling, according to economists of the caliber of Morgan Stanley's Stephen Roach. But economic and geopolitical volatility in the region, including the potential for instability in Pakistan and Afghanistan, could make for a bumpy road ahead.